Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 Millennium Dawn, Vietnam. In the last episode, we're still continuing through the beginning of the game, trying to make improvements, reduce our corruption, get research done, get stuff built, you know, the usual. In the world, we've had a couple of things happen. One, we had a Syrian civil war, which the Muslim Brotherhood of Syria apparently won. So they are now non-aligned. Interesting. And we have a civil war in Saudi Arabia between the Islamic Republic of Arabia and Al-Qaeda. So, we'll see how that turns out. And yeah, we are kind of still just working through things. Now, one thing to talk about, because there's been comments about it on both of the last two episodes, and I think it's just easier for me to talk about it here, is asking about the version of Millennium Dawn that we're using. Probably should have mentioned this in the first episode, though. No, Millennium Dawn has not been updated to the current version of the game. So you can't run Millennium Dawn in the most current version with the No Step Back DLC. I think it's called No Step Back. So you have to put at least a version that's available through the Steam Workshop. You have to roll Hearts of Iron 4 back to no higher than version 1.10.8 to be able to use it, or else it'll crash. Ooh, new guns. Keep going with new guns. All right. So, if you don't know how to do that in Steam, and this has to be done through Steam, I only know how to do it through Steam, is if you go to Hearts of Iron 4 in your Steam library, right-click on it, choose Properties, and then go to the Betas section. There should be a drop menu for what beta version you want to choose. It's not really a beta version. You just choose the 1.10.8 version, let the game update, and then you should be able to use Millennium Dawn. At least a version of Millennium Dawn is available on the Steam Workshop. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, it takes 300 political power to reduce corruption, so we need to wait a little bit before we get some more. We do want to retool our divisions, but we're going to need the experience to do that, which is going to be a little ways before we get it. Requires all the following. Yeah, I really don't care about that. What I want is this. I need that. I mean, this would be nice. Well, we will eventually get that. Once we get this, we can get that. Expand the universities. I don't think we'll be able to get the assured intellectual freedoms because we are a police state. Unless we can remove that police state. We'll see. But this is what we're at. This is going to be 2 more civilian industry, which will be a big help. Casualties are leaning against the Islamic Republic of Arabia. And in fact, I would say it's not looking good for them at all. Alright, please the upper class. Import foreign automobiles. We'll go with that one. Limited interventionalism. Join faction tension limit. We are probably going to have to join a faction. Lower demand for Vietnamese goods. We are now at fast growth, which is fine. I'm not going to worry about the, you know, the economic growth right now. Light jet 1975. Let's get light jet 1995. There's not a lot I can do about that right now. Yeah, lease the industrial complexes. We'll need to wait until we can lease military factories again. Well, hopefully we can actually, like, get our own military factories built. And we can lower our corruption. Modest corruption. Go. Slight corruption, negligible. We can negotiate licenses with Russia. We can negotiate licenses with... Like, I can negotiate licenses with France. Do I really want to negotiate licenses with France? I don't know. I would like to see if we can license something else here. I would like... The best frigates you can offer me are 1975 frigates. No, 1990 frigates. $2,000 frigates. Well, then let me take that frigate. And is there a decent Corvette? 1965 Corvette. Okay. Once we have some dockyards, we can actually build some semi-decent ships. Ah, because at least these industrial complexes I can't lease to military factories. It's alright. Alright, neural networks, revival, production efficiency cap, and research speed. Yeah, we need research speed. Yep, looks like that war is largely decided. Alright, now we can create the automotive industry. So we're going to get a military factory here shortly, in about a month. We can keep the speed up, I think. This seems to be largely stalemated for the moment. It'd be nice if I could get an attaché somewhere. Oh, yep, there's the 9/11 attacks. Sorry, I'm skipping through those events because I kind of went over them in the last series. And we're going to see how the United States reacts. If they react. Alright, there's Al-Qaeda. Took over Saudi Arabia. Now, are there any factions yet? Just this one. No, that's not a faction. Never mind. I thought that was a different color. No, nothing yet. Invest in biofuels. Should I do that? I should probably do that. Let's do that. Alright, we can lower our corruption a little bit further. Okay, so we got our second military factory. Speaking of, should I mean, do I have the civilian factories to spend them creating an intelligence agency? I mean, I have 10, which is enough to do a lot. Alright, create the agency. What symbol are we going to use? I think these are just all the generic ones. Indonesia took a state. You know what? We'll just go with that one. Sure. Bill Clinton announces enduring freedom. Guantanamo Bay Detention Center. Alright, can we lease those military factories? Yes, please. Ah, that's why we lost the industrial complex lease. You know what? We're going to continue to lease the industrial complexes, not the military factories, because I really want my own built. Right? I want my own built. So helping get my own factories built is better. Alright, we now have some biofuels, which means our fuel reserves should be a little bit better. Okay, build roads. Expand urban areas, building slots, construction speed. This gets me a bunch of resources, which would be really nice. Economic autonomy. Or do I want to start getting some army reform going? To give me some army experience. I don't think that's really that necessary right now. Continuing to just improve the base of the nation, I think, is more important. So we're going to build some roads. Rook. No divisions in basic training. Well, yeah, we don't have any divisions in basic training. Even though I could train something. In theory. Squad automatic weapons. We don't have any man-portable air defense systems, no anti-tank guided missiles, no mounted anti-tank guided missiles, and no utility vehicles. Okay, Afghan Northern Alliance took 5 states. The Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan was annexed. Okay, so we got squad automatic weapons. What would we want to get next? Expanding my special forces is a luxury item. Do I want better utility vehicles? That might be a good idea. My own improved artillery. Let's go utility vehicles. Attempt to build a proper post-war order in Afghanistan without the Taliban. Several national delegations of Western countries have met with 25 Afghan leaders in the city of Bonn, Germany. Hamid Karzai was recognized by the international community as the rightful president of Afghanistan. Most of the nations would now have begun, the world have now begun once again establishing diplomatic relations with Afghanistan. Alright, so we need to recruit our first agent. A linguist. And well-groomed. Control, trade mission, and diplomatic pressure. Linguist, I think, is going to be better. We'll grab you. And we really can't do anything with just one agent. Let's grab counterintelligence. Alright, we got new guns. And actually, that brings us up to a relatively current infantry equipment. Alright, that's good. Let's get tandem charge warheads. Let's go for that. Alright, so we now have our own homegrown small arms. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna need and portable air defense. I'm going to need mounted anti-tank guided missiles and mounted anti-tank guided missiles and utility vehicles. Which actually we're gonna make those a little bit of a bigger priority. Okay. Liberia took 1 state. So Liberians United for Reconciliation and Democracy was annexed. Okay. Okay. So let's see. 2 more building slots in southern Vietnam. 2 infrastructure in southern Vietnam. 1 infrastructure in central Vietnam. We're gonna need all of this at some point. So let's go with railways first. Is the U.S. officially at war with anybody yet? No. Has any faction formed yet? No. The Islamic State of Somalia has declared war on Somalia. Al-Shabaab has declared war on Jubaland and Somalia. Guinea and Liberia have signed a white peace. Alright, so there's another faction in the Somalian conflict. Lower that corruption even more. Greece leaves NATO. Alright, negligible corruption. There we are. Alright, so we're no longer getting any penalties from our corruption. Though we're also not getting the bonus of the political power that it gives us. Okay, so I think what'll happen is once I'm done building the artillery pieces, and we've at least reinforced, then we'll move that factory to something else. Alright, agency upgraded. I think for the moment I'm going to leave the intelligence agency alone. Add a strategic fuel reserve. That's probably a good idea, but let's go for highways. Lease those industrial complexes. Civilian industry construction speed. Not building any... Well, we are building some civilian industry. But not very quickly. Gulf states sign joint defense agreement. War on Iraq begins. The United States declare war on Iraq. Alright. Leaders of the member states of the Gulf Cooperation Council have agreed to sign a landmark agreement. It represents the most significant step towards forward in terms of GCC military cooperation in decades. So I guess, is that a faction that has officially formed? Not as yet, it would seem. Increased consumer confidence, which means we now have economic boom. Alright, looks like the Americans are starting to push into Iraq. China completes transition towards a free market economy. Recent liberalizations of the Chinese economy have culminated in a full transition from the socialist market economy to a model to a full-blown free market economy. Reports indicate that Jiang Zemin, probably butchering that, had to go to great lengths to convince Communist Party officials and leading figures in Chinese industry that this historic move would benefit everyone. Subsequently, opposition to the move has been muted, but many analysts believe that there is significant apprehension among China's rural poor about the new changes. So they like... Well, they're still communist. We'll see what happens in China. Construction 2 is done. Construction 3. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start changing this. Because frankly, We need to start expanding. It's the only way. And our neighbors to the west are our most obvious targets. There is something to be said for taking the time to at least, well, build highways is done, to at least get to the point where we can recruit a second agent. Expand the urban areas. New utility vehicles. Let's go with those utility vehicles. Alright, good. Okay, but I think we're at the end of the episode, so we'll go ahead and stop here. Things are moving along. The U.S. is, tearing across Iraq. And we'll see where that ends up going. Nobody's formed a faction yet. I don't think the world tension is high enough for the factions to start forming. Alright, but we'll see where things go next episode. So for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.